If you like making your opponents feel like tactical geniuses right before you destroy them, you're in the right place. We have 8 more traps based on fake blunders, including one brutal sequence that drags the king across the board just to get checkmated by a single pawn. Let's get into it. The Caro-Kann Two Knights Trap. It starts as the Caro-Kann. e4, c6, knight c3, d5, knight f3. The two knights setup. Black grabs the pawn on e4, white recaptures, and black develops with knight d7. Completely standard. It's the move every Caro-Kann guide tells you to play here. White plays queen e2, which looks slightly clumsy since it blocks the bishop. Black follows up with knight f6, doing exactly what good opening principles say to do. Develop, control the center, don't overthink it. That principled, correct move is the one that loses. Knight d6 and it's checkmate. Black wants to grab the knight with the e-pawn but can't. That pawn is pinned to the king by the queen sitting on a 2. A totally normal-looking opening is over in 6 moves flat. Next up, the lethal Jobava London. It starts with d4, d5, bishop f4, knight f6. A completely standard London system start. Then white throws in knight c3, the signature move of the Jobava London. It looks strange, since most London setups push the c-pawn instead of blocking it with a knight. Black just continues developing normally with knight c6, and that's already a problem. White plays knight b5, and there's no clean way to defend the c7 pawn. Some players even try a 6 here, which is one of the worst responses on the board. White just plays knight takes e7 and walks off with a free rook. Black's better try is e5, pushing back in the center. White takes the pawn, the knight retreats, and white plays queen takes d5. Black can recapture with their own queen, but after that trade, white plays knight takes c7, a royal fork, hitting the king and queen at once. White ends up 3 pawns ahead with black's king stuck in the middle of the board, unable to castle. Blackburne Shilling Gambit. It starts with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4. Instead of the expected bishop c5, black plays knight d4, a move that looks like it does nothing, since it just abandons the pawn on e5. White takes the free pawn. Black responds with queen g5, attacking the knight that just grabbed it. White isn't worried and goes for the bigger prize. Knight takes f7, forking the queen and rook. Black ignores the fork completely and takes the g2 pawn with the queen instead. The rook slides away to f1, and black plays queen takes a4. Check. White can't block with the queen, since the stray knight on d4 would just take it. Bishop e2 is forced. And that's when the knight that's been sitting on d4 this entire time, looking like it did nothing since move 4, jumps to f3 and delivers checkmate. White's own pieces box the king in completely. Traxler Counterattack. In the Traxler Counterattack, white goes for the fried liver setup. Knight g5 attacking f7. And instead of the normal defense, black plays bishop c5, ignoring the threat entirely. Knight takes f7, forking the queen and rook exactly as planned. Black responds with bishop takes f2, offering the bishop for free. If white takes it, knight takes a4 as check, and black's queen suddenly floods into the game. So white avoids that trap and plays king e2 instead. Black keeps the pressure on with knight d4 check. The king can't stay put, so it runs to d3. Now the king is standing in the middle of the board with black's pieces closing in. Black plays a quiet move, b5, and white, still up material and nervous about the hanging queen, pulls the bishop back to safety. Black plays knight takes a4, another piece just sitting there for the taking. White grabs the queen, figuring the danger is finally over. It isn't. Knight c5, check. The king has to move again. Knight e2, another check, another sacrifice. White takes it, but that capture was only ever about clearing the square. The bishop sitting quietly on f2 this whole time finally has a clear line to the king. King to b4, check with a 5. King takes b5, bishop to a 6, check. King takes a 5. At this point, black is down a queen and a knight. Bishop d3 opens a discovered check from the rook. King to b4. Knight a 6, check. King back to a 5. One last knight sacrifice. Knight b4, another discovered check. And the king is forced to take it. By the end, black has handed over the queen and both knights to get here. But both bishops are still standing, and it's actually a single pawn that walks up and delivers the final checkmate. White grabbed a queen and 2 knights along the way and still lost.